The insanely psychological dark side of INFJs. People with an INFJ's personality type at their best can be kind, compassionate, intuitive, as well as creative. Despite that, INFJs, when not in the right headspace, can be extremely dark and difficult to deal with. An unhealthy or dark INFJ's person can be an absolute nightmare to be with. Under pressure, people with an INFJ's personality type can go ballistic, and a very different side of their personality can then be seen. Today we are going to look at the psychologically dark side of the INFJ's personality types, which means the not-so-loved side of the INFJ's folks and their bad habits, as well as negative traits that may be harmful to the INFJ's individuals, as well as the people surrounded by them equally. The negative traits, or the dark side of INFJ's individuals. They think that they are somehow superior to others. All INFJs sometimes feel that they are being completely misunderstood, and this generally happens to them when they are in their early adolescent days. The thinking that I am superior to all others in my surroundings generally occurs in a person who has only recently discovered that he or she has an INFJ personality type. When INFJ individual finally discovers themselves, he or she begins to believe that they are the best personality type, are the most empathetic, and are most intelligent and intuitive as well. The INFJ individuals start looking down on the other personality types and become what some might call total snobs, which in our opinion is not exactly being an empath or showing great insight. They can be extremely stubborn. The J in INFJs stands for judging or judgmental. That J is responsible for obsessive and meticulous planning, as well as thinking for the future. INFJs individuals can be spontaneous and impulsive at times, but mostly a new idea makes them uneasy, and they do not welcome any changes in the plans that they have created and perfected in their heads. If a person with an INFJ's personality type decides and chooses to move in a particular direction in their life, it is nearly impossible to persuade them to think of another direction or a change in the path that they have already decided for themselves. INFJ's individuals can sometimes come off as immovable and inflexible, and people generally think of them as being stubborn and high-headed. INFJs are often seen as being out of touch with reality and being in a fantasy world of their own. INFJs individuals very often tend to enter their nighttime loop, and in their loop, they get extremely focused on speculating about the future and what they should do to improve it. In this process, INFJs individuals sometimes tend to lose touch with their surroundings and other human beings around them. They easily become very critical of not just themselves but other people as well. They say that they are self-aware, but that is simply all lies. They become incapable of accepting and analyzing their own emotions, which can be very destructive for themselves as well as others around them. INFJs individuals are in constant need of approval and tend to be people pleasers. People with the INFJ's personality type always crave easygoing, friendly, and positive interactions and relationships with other people. They hate any kind of fight or conflict, and along with it, they hate the feeling of letting other people down. Due to these kinds of feelings, INFJ's individuals particularly have a hard time setting boundaries with other people and just simply telling them no. Due to their compliant nature, they are often taken advantage of, and while this not be a dark trait, it is most certainly a negative trait, as INFJ's individuals don't only harm themselves, but also harm the people that are associated with them. INFJ's individuals expect highly from situations and even from other people. People with the INFJ's personality type very often try to pretend that they do not have any expectations from people or events, let alone have high expectations, but this is not true. Not only do people with INFJ's personality type view themselves on a pedestal and hold themselves to an extremely high standard, but they also tend to set extraordinarily high expectations from people and situations. The closer an INFJ's individual is to a person, the higher their expectations are from them. These are particularly high when you are the lover of an individual with an INFJ's personality type. However, the expectations that INFJ's individuals hold are not always fulfilled, and this leads to an INFJ's individual getting hurt and feeling bad about it. People with an INFJ's personality type want all perfection in life, yet getting everything according to what you expect is not possible in life. INFJ's individuals are extremely harsh towards people in many instances. If you have a friend with the INFJ's personality type, then you should surely go to them for advice. because INFJs individuals give amazing advice and are very frequently able to see the situations for all aspects. Even though INFJs individuals have good intentions and genuinely care about people, they sometimes come across as being highly rude, blunt, judgmental, and even inappropriately harsh. INFJs individuals are brutally honest and rarely have any malice in their hearts. However, they sometimes do not know how to voice their concerns and help people more gently and lovingly, and very often end up hurting people unintentionally, cutting off people from their life unexpectedly and rudely. A person with an INFJ's personality type often abruptly cuts off people from their life. This happens because they are extremely hurt and feel bad about themselves. This does not happen because they hate a person. This happens because they are no longer capable or willing to deal with the pain that particular person is giving them in life. This is because individuals with an INFJ's personality type also tend to be extremely sensitive and emotional when it comes to things like these. If an individual with an INFJ's personality types stops talking to you out of the blue, it is most likely because you did something to hurt them. If you meet them daily somewhere like at school or your workplace, then they might not stop talking to you, but they will most certainly cut you off emotionally for hurting them and become cold, as well as highly distant towards you. They highly tend to think that everybody low-key hates them. Almost all people feel misunderstood and unheard at least once during their lifetime. However, people with the INFJ's personality type have a particularly difficult time finding people who truly understand them and their beliefs. According to various research, those with an INFJ's personality type only account for 2.3% of the entire United States population. People with an INFJ's personality type very often find themselves struggling to talk to people about their thoughts and ideas because they feel that other people do not understand or process their vision in the manner that they do. INFJ's individuals very often even struggle with discussing their ideas and thoughts, as their ideas get frequently rejected and receive mixed reactions from those around them, instead of applause, curiosity, and general acceptance. Due to this, many people with an INFJ's personality types start to think that they have a problem with the way they think, and they become highly critical of themselves, which in most cases does not turn out to be healthy as well. INFJ's individuals have a very high tendency of becoming codependent. It is known to everybody by now that INFJ's individuals are said to be natural caregivers. They love taking care of people and coddling them, even when it is not necessarily required. Due to their loving nature and being naturally empathetic, INFJ's individuals easily begin to blame themselves for other people's feelings and emotions. INFJ's individual adjusts themselves according to other people's emotional wavelengths and tries to keep their life in a constant state of peace and harmony. But of course, this is not always possible, and hence, sometimes may lead to a state of codependency. If we had to explain codependency in simple terms, it would simply be a dysfunctional relationship between people, where one person heavily depends on the other person for meeting almost all of their emotional and self-esteem or self-worth needs. It can also be a relationship where one person renders the other to be irresponsible, irrelevant, a slacker, as well as addictive in life. It is extremely harmful to both people to be in such a dysfunctional relationship, and being codependent has never turned out to be good for anybody. People with an INFJ's type personality are extremely compassionate and loving, and it is for sure not very easy to be such a loving and highly sensitive person in this rough world. INFJ's individuals sure do have their dark side, but they are also capable of kindness, empathy, and love. On most days, people with the INFJ's personality type are the best, and trust us on this one, you do not want to encounter an INFJ's on a bad day. This is all for today's video. We hope you enjoyed it. Are you a person with an INFJ's personality type? Do you show any of these dark traits from time to time? Do you think INFJ's individuals are generally negative, or are they loving and compassionate? Which personality would you like to learn about next, and why? Do let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video from us.